And we are back. Waffle Breaks Take Two. This is box 421. First Facebook claim of the week. We're doing Tuesday and Wednesday this week. Also, next week we'll be doing Tuesday and Wednesday. So adjust your calendars and your devices for claims. 8 p.m. tomorrow, 8 p.m. next Tuesday and Wednesday as well. So we had a pretty good crowd. Obviously, 9 or 10 people grabbed all the spots. It's easy to do with 32. We had a couple at the end there, and Sonic heard his music, came running down from the tunnel, jumped in the ring, and claimed the last three, I believe. So here we are, ready to roll. Like I said, this is box 421 overall. We've given away 442 jerseys just in WAFFLEBOARD breaks, not counting all of our numerous third-party products we've done and other giveaways or other items we've done like pucks and cards and other stuff over time. So obviously yesterday was the 2-year anniversary. Obviously we had good giveaways on Sunday. Hope you guys enjoyed that. That was fun seeing the cool hot jersey, obviously, and the Lonnie to CK, and of course the nice 16 by 20 Hoobie went to Ron. So I haven't talked to a couple of those guys. So I'd like to see, like I said, everybody will be packed up and shipped out. Hopefully do it this Saturday. But we're doing a box today, and then of course one tomorrow. And then you give them some time off to get your bids in for Sunday for the double box. So obviously we're down to 32 today, 31 tomorrow, and we'll be down to 30 and 29 on Sunday. So that's crazy. Just like that, we're into the 20s. I have to start thinking about the reload. I have about a half dozen, maybe 8 still, and I have lots of good backups if you guys can hit some stuff, variations of stuff that's already boxed up that I can't use yet. So the randomizer has to decide what some of the reloads are going to be. And of course, I'm always on the hunt for good stuff. But I do have, at least 8 or so, I think, unique jerseys ready to roll for you guys. And we'll see what else we can add in there. But hopefully I'll get it filled up in the next week or so before we get ready for the next reload. I think that's not till the first week, I think, maybe of May or the last week of April. Figure out how it works, how it falls. But Double Box this Sunday is already live on eBay, so you guys could get your bids in there. Of course, I'll end whatever hits tonight, but we'll be down to just 30 and 29 spots on Sunday. So let's see if anyone wants to stroll in here. Lots of games on tonight. Not a lot of great matchups per se, but a lot of teams jockeying for position. I told you, I talked about that on Sunday, that the playoffs are almost set. I mean, the bottom 3 teams aren't quite locked in yet, but I don't think there's going to be much movement unless somebody gets crazy hot. St. Louis has kind of asserted themselves. They lost last night to Winnipeg, but they had won 12 in a row to get themselves into the 6, 7, and 8 conversation. I'm not sure which one they're going to end up with, but that's where they're probably going to end up in the West. That kind of closed the door on the teams hoping to get in, like the Calgarys. They're probably be on the outside looking in. Of course, the bottom 3 teams are pretty sold, solid, locked up so far in both conferences. So the Rangers, they'd have to need a miracle at this point in time to get themselves in. It's pretty much over. And everybody else in the East, Islanders, I think, are pretty much done. So it's pretty set, the 8 of each conference that we're going to have in. It's just a matter of who plays who, what seeds. Obviously, nobody wants to play St. Louis right now, except maybe, obviously, Winnipeg doesn't care because as one of the best teams in the league, they've been able to show themselves. They still need to prove it in the playoffs. Like I said, that they've floundered and washed out relatively early, losing to Colorado or Edmonton last year. I can't remember which one it was. Both those teams have gone to the finals in recent years, so it's no shame losing to a team on their way towards the finals. It might be Colorado. No, it might have been, I can't remember who it was. It might have been Edmonton last year. Took out Winnipeg. I think it was the second round. So what up? What up, Sonic? Nice to see you in the house. Anytime Sonic is within hailing distance, it's always nice for him to stop by. You guys have bumped him down the leaders list, the Hawksmen and all. I still want to see them build a team around Bedard. I mean, they're good young players are actually looking good. Frankie Nazar's look pretty good. The defensemen, the 19, 20-year-olds they got playing, like, Levshinov and Koczynski, they actually look decent. I mean, they're not ready to make any noise in the playoffs. They obviously still need to add some more parts. Obviously, they're going to have a probably top 2 or 3 pick this year, and they're going to add another huge chunk, no matter who it is, whether it's another defenseman. I think they're probably going to go forward. Misa looks scary. Higgins looks good. And he's almost got a goal game. It's almost like 80 goals. He's having an insane year. But depending on where they end up, obviously, they a couple more years, and you do need more pieces. And obviously, players like they want to come there. Veterans that want to come there and have a run with the young kids. I mean, that's kind of what these players do in the NHL. The veteran players, they kind of earn their money in that 25 to 32 zone, and then they want to latch on to a team that's good young budding stars and make a run for the playoffs. Like, some of these young teams are impressing. Like, they're not good yet, but that in a couple of years when they get some more ice under their legs and add a piece here or there, like Anaheim is looking, at times they look real good. I mean, they got players that can play. I mean, Mason McTavish and Jackson Lacombe on defense, and Khalil Carlson, they got some good parts. And then San Jose, watching, just in the last month or so, the way Celebrini, Will Smith, and Eklund and those guys are playing. I mean, they have good young cores, but they're not quite ready to be teams yet. And we'll see. The West is always weird because you don't see tons of the games on the East Coast, and the Kings are still proving themselves to be a legit playoff team. I'm not sure if they're going to make a cup run this year, but they're not ready to give it up yet. Obviously, Doughty and Kopitar, and they do have some veteran pieces, and they got some good young players as well. But they're kind of in that kind of middle zone where I don't think they're a top 4 team in the West, but they're definitely not an outside looking in team. They're definitely a playoff team. And like I said, anything can happen here. You're hot, you're healthy, you get your good right matchups. Playoffs are a different animal. So, I mean, the Kings have won the cup, so they kind of know just got to get in, and that's the first step to making a run. Well, like I said, we watched last year when the 2 best players in the league playing together started a hot streak with that team, and the Oilers went all the way to the finals in Game 7. And I don't think the Oilers are a great top to bottom team, but when you got the 2 best players on the planet, and things start to fall your way. Teams get knocked out that you don't have to run into. Teams like Winnipeg, got knocked out. Vegas knocked out. Dallas knocked out. I mean, they were Colorado knocked out. They're like the last man standing out west. And they made it to the 7th game and almost won the cup. So, and the Panthers, I mean, they paid the dues getting there. Obviously, getting to the finals, getting losing, and then getting barely, getting knocked out every year or so by Tampa during their cup runs. And they took their lumps, and they built their team with good veterans, brought in the right chemistry guys. Obviously, the Kachuk trade was huge, and the guys they kept adding here and there made them into a vicious Stanley Cup Finals champion last year. But like I said, the teams, there's still some teams that could do that again. I think I told you, Carolina's sneaky. They can make that run. Toronto's been hot in the last 10 games or so, and we'll see if they can make that matter in the playoffs. But the playoffs are looking good. Like I said, teams are, the Devils proved me wrong with losing Jack Hughes and Dougie, and still, putting up, good games and looking like to make a run. So it's a matter of having the right parts and the right times and the right health. And like I said, you could say that any year, but your good teams are always going to rise to the top. And hopefully, we see great hockey in the playoffs. But, the Hawks aren't quite there. I mean, it's going to be good for the NHL when the Hawks become a legitimate, contender again. It's, obviously that middle of the country. They're always been, one of the original 6. It's good when the Hawks are good, having lived through, the early Hawks years and like the mid 80s, the Dennis Savards and like, seeing those Hawk years, the Jeremy Roenick's when he was young. And then obviously, during the Kane and Dave's, cup runs. I mean, they've had some heights, they've had some highs, and it's nice to see them get back to that again. But like I said, they're not 100% done with that rebuild. You know, you don't have the goalie. I think that's going to be, you know, you don't have the Hellebuck, you know, Vasilevsky or Shesterkin. You don't have one of those guys yet that you can plug and play and forget about it back there. You know, he's going to bail you out at times. And like I said, we don't know if these young defensemen are going to, you know, fit into exactly what the team needs, but they're looking good. Like I said, it's you know, it's one thing to be, you know, thought of as a prospect, but you got to make it prove it at the NHL level, and you know, you need to get, you know, your ice time, you know, pay your dues, get your lumps, you know. But Bedard, you can see he's frustrated. I mean, obviously, when you're a player as skilled as he is, you know, he's not able to do the things he could do at the junior level. You know, he doesn't have, like I said, he doesn't have terrible players. He's got good NHL players, but they're not quite the talent level that he needs to succeed. So, you know, he doesn't have, you know, similar players to him, you know, that he needs to click with. But we'll see. Like I said, if they make the right picks, you know, they have some good young players down the minors and juniors still. And I'm rooting for the Hawks to make their way back to a legit NHL Stanley Cup contender. But like I said, it's going to be fun to watch. You know, the playoffs this year. You know, I love all these teams. I love watching the games I've seen of almost all these teams. And, you know, I mean, there's teams I don't want to see win. You know, of course, there's teams I'd rather not see advance, you know, into the second and third rounds. But, you know, obviously, so as long as Tampa's still alive, you know, I'm definitely rooting for them. But, and there are teams once these teams start getting knocked out, you know, I would love to see, you know, advance. I would love to see, you know, Winnipeg, you know, kind of make a run finally, you know, get everything together, you know, keep healthy, and then make a run deep in the playoffs. But I mean, like I said, I have to respect, you know, teams like the Kings, who are a vet squad, Vegas, who is a Stanley Cup champion contender, and obviously Colorado. Dallas looks scary. They've been close the last couple of years. They've definitely been very close. They've been to the finals. You know, they know what it takes to get deep into the playoffs. But you know, it's good hockey. Like I said, there's nothing wrong with it. Baseball is back. You know, like I said, the Jays are playing good, whooping up on the Red Sox right now. So it's, you know, baseball's here, but we still have lots of good hockey to come. You know, we're less than, you know, everybody's under 10 games left. I mean, we're talking 5 or 6 at most here. Love to see Cooch make a run for the Art Ross. Love to see him win the Hart no matter what. He'll obviously, he's always going to have sports writers that don't vote for him, which is what happened probably last year. He won the Art Ross, and he was, you know, he lost out to McKinnon, who needed, I think as a career, I mean, he was likely going to get a Hart sooner or later, but, you know, he got it last year. Obviously, he has a cup. You know, I'd like to see, you know, Cooch, you know, win another one. Obviously, he's essential to Tampa, you know, being where they are. Like you said, they got an unbelievably deep, balanced team, and part of that's his distribution of the puck. I mean, you know, he loves the way that Gensel can play, but you put him with a guy like Kucherov, and you see how many goals he can score. You know, I love my boy Brandon Hagel is finally showing the league what he can do, and he's having a great season. And like I said, they got a good team. Obviously, you know, even Nick Paul, you know, double 20-something goals. So it's you know, they brought back Gord. You got Sorelli that plays Ted well. He's had a good scoring season. So it's, you know, obviously they don't have many cup runs left, so you got to take advantage of them. You know, things could fall their way. Like I said, I don't feel that they're a top 3 team in the East, but things start to fall their way and they stay healthy, they could make the run. So Vasilevsky, Hedman, and Kucherov, you're always going to be alive. You know, you may not be a favorite, but you're always going to be alive. So we'll see how the playoffs go. So yeah, like I said, 32 boxes tonight. Like I said, we're just doing one tonight. We're doing one tomorrow. So we'll be down to 30 and 29 for Sunday. So, and same thing next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. So make sure you adjust your claim schedules and you get your fingers and your devices ready for 8 p.m. on Tuesdays and Wednesdays the next 2 weeks. Then we'll be back to Tuesday and Thursday likely, but Tuesday and Wednesday just because of my schedule the next 2 weeks. And of course, Sunday double boxes. And those spots are live. So you can get your bids in now just to have a placeholder, of course, and get ready for the battles on Sunday, because as we get down into the 20s, I know the battles will be fast and furious. So, like I said, there's not much else. Like I said, the table's looking a little thin. 7, 6, and 5 are the 3 piles there. Of course, I have 14 still on the left here. So it's not quite 50-50 reload boxes and old boxes, but it's pretty close. I said we have 3 single boxes from runs. Our 3 oldest, 60, 95, and 3. So if you've been following along at home closely, you should know what those boxes will bring us. And then there's a 2-box run, and then 5 and 8. So it's getting pretty thin. There's obviously this is the April, and that's the March, and that's the February, and that's the January. So there are only 3 boxes from last year. So everything else is from this year, including the 2 boxes from the January reload. So it's we're doing a good job of clearing out the old stuff. There's nothing that obviously that waited to have old boxes appear more frequently in the randomizer, but it's just a matter of eventually those numbers will hit. But of course the odds are 1 in 32 that any of the boxes will hit tonight. So we shall see. I said it was a pretty good crowd. Let me see. I don't think anybody had 1 spotters tonight. I think everybody's got at least multiples. I think everybody's a multiple spotter, at least 2. A couple 2 spotters, but everybody's got at least 2. Some of you guys have more. So good luck to everybody. Like I said, it's more fun to hit than not. I know I have jerseys to send out to Big Al. Ron's got a 16 by 20. Mike, Tim's not in today. So you guys have stuff upstairs ready to get packed up. So I will get that out to you guys on Saturday. But until then, we have the box tonight and then the box tomorrow. So let's get going with that. So good luck, everybody. Let me get my randomizer ready. Where's my lists? Oh, my dice roller. Yes, let's see Sodic in town within hailing distance of humanity. So good luck to him. He's finally hopefully got over the damn stupid bowl. Still mad at him and the Chiefs for not winning that one, but we'll see how it goes. Can't win them all, but I'd rather you win the ones against the Eagles. There we go. So let's get going. Okay, you guys know the drill. As always, 5 or more in our dice roll to pick our box. 60, 95, and 3 are single boxes left from their runs. 18 and 26 as well. Last 2 boxes from their run. And then, of course, 29 through 46, and then 50 through 61, I think. That's probably right. That sounds about right. And then, of course, everything past that. And we've hit the last 2, which are 76 and 77. So the new run will start at 78, but 76 and 77 have been hits. So the oldest boxes, the highest, most recent boxes, 75. So let's get going. 5 or more, of course. Let's do it, guys. Thank you much for the fill. Good luck, everybody. See what we got. 10 times. 10 times. Here we go. 10 times the list, guys. Good luck. See what we got tonight. 1, 32 boxes. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. And the box we're going to open tonight is going to be box number 71. Finally into the reload. 71, 32 boxes, 10 times. 71 the box. 32 items on our list. 10 times. 71 it is. Okay. Reload box. So we're almost 50-50. So you're feeling it. Let's go. Yeah. I don't personally hold you responsible, Sonic, but since you're the biggest Chiefs fan, I know I kind of will. This is how it's got to be. Got to take your lumps. 71. Okay. 71 it is. Let's get my lists. Says there's 14 boxes from the reload. Some good stuff in here too. 71 it is. That leaves me 13 I'm going to start moving some over. I don't like having them. 7's about the lowest I'd like to do. So I'll probably bring 3 of them over. We'll do that. So at least 3 of them over. Okay. Good luck, everybody. There's my knife. Some good late games on tonight, too. So make sure when you're done here, you get to the hockey if you're able to watch it. We have the ESPN Plus. 71. Okay. Good luck, everybody. Let's see what 71's got for us. My list. 71. Okay. Good luck. I'll end this, of course, on eBay. Let's see what we got. 71. You know what? This is insanity. Back-to-back nights. I hit one of these in Big Al's yesterday. Big Al hits Jordan Kyrou tonight. We are swimming in Jordan Kyrous. Adidas Pro Jordan Kyrou. East Coast COA. Jordan Kyrou with his little blue ink sink. Unbelievable. I was actually thinking to myself, it'd be crazy if Jordan Kyrou hit. Honestly. Jordan Kyrou, East Coast COA. It's been Kyrou Mania. Adidas Pro Blue home jersey. Jordan Kyrou with the blue note. There it is. Jordan Kyrou with the fleur-de-lis. St. Louis Blues, Adidas. Obviously, fight strapped galore. Jordan Kyrou. How you like that? There you go. Very, very nice. Little blue sig by Jordan. East Coast hologram. Jordan Kyrou. Very, very nice. Congratulations. And that is, I believe, Big Al. Remember seeing him claim that, correct? And that is Big Al. Congratulations, Big Al. There we go. Sorry for everybody that did not hit. Jordan Kyrous have come out in boxes on back-to-back nights, which is absolutely insanity. Can't predict that to happen. So congratulations to him. Congratulations to me in this East Coast box on Monday. But there we go. Jordan Kyrou it is. Congratulations, sir. Like I said, now we're 1 box less. We're down to 31 boxes for tomorrow. Same spot price preview I will throw back up. And, of course, I'll end the Kyrou spot on eBay, so nobody can bid on that. Yeah, Derek, you're right off that. I saw there was a bunch of them that people got sniped real close on. I didn't realize Jordan Kyrou was one of them. I know Big Al's been claiming them relatively regularly, but like I said, I don't think every time he's had them, but I didn't see he grabbed it right before you. But there we go. It's a very, very nice Jordan Kyrou St. Louis Blues home blue jersey. Love the darker blue with the black and yellow trims on the Blues jersey. So very, very nice. He's having a fantastic season again. 30 goals, 3 straight seasons. And that team is actually on fire. So hopefully we can see how they do in the playoffs. But Jordan Kyrou is absolutely going to be a key member of that. Robert Thomas as well. And Bennington in goal, of course. And like I said, Cam Fowler's reborn again with that St. Louis Blues team. Broberg, another guy that kind of they didn't get matched when they bid against him against Edmonton, where he didn't play much. He's had a great year, even though he's hurt for a little bit. So St. Louis is legit. So be fearful because they can make some noise. And obviously Bennington's cup caliber. He's won before, so he knows he can make a run if he keeps hot. So keep watching it. There it is. Only St. Louis. There you go. Oh, there you go. Every couple we're missing. Yeah, somebody else was. I was talking to James. He's only come missing a couple teams as well. So some of you guys are trying to build your sets, which is cool. I'm glad to help you. Obviously, I always want to mix it up a little bit, trying to always find new jerseys from different teams. So it's always nice when I'm able to get stuff that you guys want to grab. So there it is. Jordan Kyrou, St. Louis Blues. Like I said, I'm always working on that. We'll see if I can, get another one. Like I said, I have one on the way, so maybe it'll be in the next reload as well. But I'll talk to, that should be arriving before the reload anyway. So that's a likelihood that I'll get him back in there. So if you're chasing him for your NHL set, he might be the blue that goes into the reload. I don't think I have another one other than him. I'm trying to see if let me look at my box. I don't think I have another blue, so it'd be helpful if he gets back into the boxes. So we'll see. Like I said, that'll probably be a plan. I'll get closer to the reload. I'll let you guys know for sure. But yeah, St. Louis Devils. Do I have a Devils? I don't think I got Rangers, of course. Always got Rangers. No Coyotes. They're tough. We've had some. Obviously, we had Doan, we had Keller, and Utah's not. They're still new enough. I mean, I don't get in the breaks where Utah jerseys are available, and obviously they're only going to have it for another year or so if they change it next year to their official logo. But the Utah jersey, UHC, I have seen a couple of those. East Coast actually has a couple. I think Big Al has some for himself as living in Utah. So, but yeah, so thank you very much, everybody. Be ready for tomorrow night, 8 p.m. We'll get back here and do it again. 31 boxes tomorrow night, same spot price. We'll go back up shortly. So thank you very much again. And good luck tomorrow. Can't wait to see you guys tomorrow evening. And same thing next week, Tuesday and Wednesday. So just so you guys know, that's a change up. Not going forward it'll be, but this week and next week are both Tuesday and Wednesday Facebook nights. So, and Sundays, of course, are still doubles. So get ready for eBay on that. So thank you very much, guys. Waffleboard Breaks is going to be out, and I'm going to do my post-break work and then get that stuff ready for tomorrow evening. I'll see you then. Take care, guys. Enjoy late games. Take care.